Okie dokie. In this video, we're taking a look at the progress I've made on the localhost blog. Last time I left this, there was, well, there still is quite a lot of work that needed to be done after applying the styled reset. This is pretty much where I left it the other day. I managed to just style the header a bit here, and then carried on sort of yesterday, just applying some more styles using the not the tailwind approach, but using the all the presets I jacked from Tailwind CSS, and just started applying those to various parts of the project. So if we take a look at a post here, this is one from yesterday. There's just everything's been completely reset here. It's just like a big block of text. And currently now, I've put in some headers. You see the link hovering next to the headers here. That is Gatsby linked headers. I'm just going to go over the plugins I've added as well. But one thing which is in here. This is the right one. Just navigate back here. Advanced React. This was sort of bugging me for a while. Was images, and I was like, I'm sure I had images configured. But if we take a look at yesterday's one, and we go to React Advanced here as well, this is just posts. But if we scroll down to the bottom, whereabouts is it? Here. I think it'd be easier just to find it. Anything acronym, here it is. So I was like, why isn't this image showing? And it was just showing me like the pointing to like the markdown resource. Wow, it was really slow this morning. Yeah, it was just like this is how it's sort of referenced in the markdown file. Go to the markdown file and just point it out, which is in posts 2019 November, and index to MDX. Let's just close that side panel there. Scroll down, it's around here. Here it is. So it is literally just showing the / there, but it should be pointing to like the actual asset in the static folder. And for the longest time, I couldn't work out what I'd done wrong. And it turned out that the Gatsby Remark plugins, I'd actually, let's go to the Git changes here, and let's just close these, doing both side by side. I'd actually closed off the plugins array, and not included all of the plugins I needed for, well, it's basically just the Gatsby Remark images. They're excluded from this, the options object. You see I closed the object here, and nothing's actually included in it for this whole Gatsby Remark plugins, because I went and added in a load of other things as well, like this responsive iframe, remark copy linked files, smarty pants. I'm just going to go over these, what they are, but I was adding them in, and I was like, why aren't none of these showing? And then I realized that I hadn't actually included them in the options object here. So there you go. Sometimes it does help to copy paste, and rather than just try and sort of type it out manually. So completely missed that one there. But yeah, so I'll just go over what I added in yesterday. Quite a few bits, but I think it would have been quite monotonous to actually watch me go through and create all of these page elements here. So the main ones, like H1, and I'm picking out the font size, the type of font, this auto link, which I'm going to go into in a minute, and then some line height and margin. And these values were picked from the, if I do Control P here, I can select the file and I want global style, and then we'll split this over here. So we'll just drag and drop this. And then just close that side panel. So when I discussed this in the last video, we can, with style components, there's a theme provider where we can pass this theme object here to our theme provider, which is here, and then this is the theme we're passing. So then that object basically is available to the, well, anything which is a child component of this theme provider here. And the root wrapper is very high level. It's very far up the component tree. I mean, it is quite literally the top of the component tree. So anything which is wrapped in that then can use those properties. So why couldn't I? So then what I'm doing in all of my style components here is I'm destructuring out the theme from props, and then further getting the different properties from the theme object, which is in global style here, and then I'm just using that to define all of the like the page elements I'm going to be using for the blog. So I went ahead and added in all of my H1, my sort of header elements, horizontal rule, and then the index file here. This is just exporting everything from this folder. So when I want to import many elements from here, so I'm not defining like H1, H2 as individual import lines. I can just say import H1, H2, H3 from page elements. So I haven't got an import defined for each individual component. So all those elements were defined, and then we imported them into our root wrapper here, and then we added them to our big components object here. So I've added in stuff for links, headers, like I said, inline code, and then we've got our main wrapper. And also what I've changed from here is in previous videos and in the like the big blog post and the video series, you'll see that we're close these again. So we've got like a whole comparison here. The layout component. So I was using this layout component in both the index, which is let me switch over to the page, localhost here. So the index, like the home page, and then that takes a layout. But then we're also using that layout in the blog post here. So I've just taken it out from both of these and added that to the root wrapper here down the bottom here. And that's just wrapping everything because it's going to be the same layout for both the blog post and for the home page. I don't see that changing anytime soon, so rather than have that duplicated, I just put it right at the top of the component tree with the other parts here. So that's the components I added. Let's just take a look at the JSON here. This isn't everything. I think I also added Victor Mono yesterday. So Victor Mono is just we've got any code examples here? Yeah, we've got some nice ligatures going on. So font ligatures. If we didn't have that, then that would just be like an equals and a right angle bracket. It's just looks pretty. Nothing other than that. I also fixed the positioning on the copy button here. So if we take a look at this one from yesterday, or Fathom. We move this, then the button would move, and that just looked terrible. So I fixed the positioning on that. And added in my headers. Oh yeah, so let's just go through what I added in for plugins. So I added in Gatsby Remark Auto-Link headers, which is this when you hover here. You'll see down the bottom here we get the anchor tag as well. This is good for when you want to share sort of sections of a blog post. So if I hit that and then just paste, we'll get the if my computer sort of stops lagging. I'll copy that. Link location. Let's try that. Then you get like the anchor tag as well. So we've got preamble here. That's what that's for. There was also copy linked files, which is for when you have, go back to React Advanced again, an image, and you want to click on it, and it just opens up the image full size view. So I'm looking at apologies, I'm looking at the wrong version here. So for React Advanced, scroll to the bottom of the page here. This is for images. When you want to click on an image, it shows you like a full resolution basically. That's what that's for. Gatsby Remark external links. What is that for? This is I was just panicking at this time and just adding in things. Gatsby external links. I'm having real issues with my internet last couple of days, and just things are really slow. So apologies if you're struggling. Watch responsive iframe. Copy these out and then go through them individually, just so we got an idea of what I've been doing. And then Gatsby Remark Smarty Pants, I don't know what that is, but just for the sake of continuity here, we're just going to copy paste and look at some links. So external links, pop that open, and responsive iframes, pop that open, and Smarty Pants. Wait for that to open as well. Man, I do apologise for having to watch this load up here. Okay. So it returns target and rel attributes for external links in Markdown. Okay. Let's report to remark external links. Okay, so that is going to be adding to so if we've got an external link somewhere, let's try to find one like this. It's going to add all of the relevant attributes to that for us. Page to start up. So got the href, and we've got the target, and we've got the rel. All right, okay, yep. So adds in these parts here because this is Markdown, and this at the moment, I think the most you can put in is like an alt for the link. You can't even put that in, can you? No, all you can do is put in a link. So this helps with that. So it helps with accessibility. But that's good. Responsive iframe is for reps iframes or objects for embedded YouTube videos. So I'm thinking possibly don't need this now because I'm going to use the Gatsby, where is it? All Scanlons, MDX embed. I'm going to be using that eventually, so possibly don't need that. And then the last one was Smarty Pants. The best way to describe this is it just gives you fancy dumb punctuation with smart punctuation. So see if we can get zoomed in on this. So it's just these how this punctuation happens. So these are curly, and it just adds those bits in, so it looks a bit more. Try and get the difference between two sites. So I just closed my local host. The example. Right, let's go visit this eventually. I'm pretty sure it's not applied to this one, and we'll just look at the two examples side by side and look at the punctuation. Right, I'll find any punctuation. 1 of 4 matches, where are they? It's in code, brilliant. Okay, apostrophes, here we go. So this is so we've got our apostrophes here. So if we go to that post with Smarty Pants applied, navigate to it eventually. Where was this? It was at the bottom here. Let's just look for an apostrophe. Same example. Right, this looks like it here. So yeah, just got some nice punctuation going on, really, and same for commas like that. So just a nice way to have your font looking on your site. So let's just close some of these. That was quite painful trying to open up those pages, so apologies about that. Cool. So those have been added in and configured, and that was it really. I went ahead, moved, created all of the additional components for the page elements here. Oh, also I added this auto link. So let's just take a look at what that is. So if I find post, reset this, looks quite big, or maybe it's not for your eyes watching the video, so let's just make it 150. Okay, so auto link headers. So this will go in and add in, if you can see down the bottom of the screen here, it will give you your links like what I just mentioned earlier, for sharing like specific paragraphs in a blog post. And this is a Gatsby plugin, and I've always known this to break. So if we don't have, this is for a H2 here. If we take this off of our H2 headers, this auto link here, save this, and wait for the dev server to kick in. It's loading still. You notice things don't look great anymore. So that auto link here, this is shared across the H2, H3, and the H1. and this is its own style component. Take a look at this. I'm just returning this sort of string as in its own sort of function within each one of the style components here. So rather than have this bit of CSS in each one of the header components, just exporting this and then adding this into our style component here. So this is just hacking what works with Gatsby, Gatsby and Remark, but it doesn't really work that great with Gatsby MDX, Gatsby Remark MDX. So this is just a way to sort of move all this around, so you can use your auto link headers with that. Okay, so next up for me is just making this look pretty. So we've got in our A-links. There's still a lot of positioning to be done. I'm going to be taking that from the presets we've got from Tailwind. So we've got all these presets here. There's some stuff which I won't be using for, like, we've got our spacing added to our margin here. I'm just going to be using this spacing object because I'm not sure what Tailwind's doing behind the scenes here to do this, but this I can't actually access these properties, so it's probably just my lack of skill or understanding. But and there's also stuff for negative, which again I could possibly do, but for now I'm just going to be hoping I don't have to use negative margins or negative anything. Hoping I can just lay it out so it looks okay. And then what else have we got in our journey to V1? So fixed images, like I said at the start of the video. So we added a victim on our font. MDX embed, I'll probably do that later on today. Add individual page elements, I've done that. And move to now SH, that's going to stay there until I get this looking in a good state, and I'm happy to move over from blog.scottspence.me over to the local host blog. And the RSS feed is going to be a video in itself, I think. This create redirects, and this is part of move site now SH. That's been created, so I'm just waiting to implement that. It's got to push that to Netlify, and then got to rewrite my the canonical links for each one of the posts here, so it points to the local host blog. That's for SEO. Images for blog posts, that's done. Oh, so edit link on GitHub, that's a good one. I'll make a video for that. Ad analytics, I've already done a video on that, which is basically this post here about customer events with Fathom Analytics. You can use some context, and we can pass this directly into the root repo and get some analytics going on. And add device detect. As like a professional developer now, when people mention compatibility with IE11, sort of shudder. It's still something I'm lacking in with my skills. I have tried to do everything in Flexbox. There's still some things in IE11 which don't match up to Flexbox. So thankfully, the switch has happened from IE11 to Edge. So Microsoft is doing a great job with that, but there's still a lot of places which say, can we support IE? And you know, if the client wants you to support IE, then you need to support it. But for me, for my site, for the audience I want, there's going to be no IE support. So I'm going to add this device detect, or it'll just pop up a component to say, look, sorry, I'm not supporting IE. Please use a more modern browser. politely, of course. I'm not going to be snooty about it, even though me excluding 0.1% of my sort of user base is quite snooty. But just for time, just to save time, just going to add that in, just to say I'm not supporting that. I'm going to support modern web browsers, and yeah, there's still quite a lot to be done. I'm going to say there's still going to be quite a lot to add to this. Seems to be quite a lot in progress at the moment, and we've done a few bits as well. So, looking good. I'm sorry I didn't have the time to go through putting all of this into the into video format. There was quite a lot to go through. Like I said at the sort of middle of the video, I'm guessing it would have been quite monotonous to watch me sort of. I mean, these are like copy paste jobs, and a lot of it is just repeated code. These here, this was. Well, I should also sort of explain that I spent quite a lot of time implementing these sort of components for my main site, my portfolio site, where I spent a fair bit of time putting those components together, and then I just jacked them from there, added them to the blog. Probably is going to be iterated on the blog differently from what they are here, because this site isn't using code blocks and things like that. But you can see I've got pretty much all the same components here, and I started implementing the defaults from Tailwind CSS here as well. So with all that, that's where we are. There's still, like I said, there's still a ways to go, but I will be making some content for these videos here. So if you'd like to follow along with that, possibly with MDX embed too. That's not being worked on at the moment, but I'm hoping this is just a straight up configuration and adding the component to your MDX files. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Sorry there's no sort of live coding, but I hope I've explained enough for you to understand what's happened. Most of the stuff which I've added here, I've gone over in previous videos, so hopefully you've got the information you need to do that. If you haven't, please reach out. You can get me on Twitter, or you can ask me in the comments here on YouTube, or get me on Twitter, hit me up on GitHub, send me an email. All my contact information is readily out there. So thanks again for watching. Remember to like the video if you like the video, and if you love the video, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. But for now, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.